So I have a question for you. Do you ever wonder if anyone else is believing God for something big, just like you? It can feel really lonely when you're trying to stand in faith for something and waiting for something to happen, but feeling like no one else understands. But I'm going to let you know it doesn't have to be this way. And I'm going to tell you why in just a second. Hey, I'm Kara, and welcome to my channel where I share spiritual and personal development tips for Christians so that you can fulfill your destiny with confidence. I'm so glad you're here. So I almost waited until Christmas to share this with you guys because it comes from Luke 1, and it's kind of the beginning of the Christmas story, but it felt really important to share now, so that's why I'm going to bring it up. So in Luke 1, 5 through 23, it shares about Elizabeth and Zechariah and their desire for a baby and how they were standing in faith and asking God to have a baby. And this is John the Baptist that eventually comes. But they're praying for a son, and then in verse 124, it says, after these days, his wife Elizabeth conceived. So now she's going to have the son that they've been waiting for. And then it goes into when the angel comes to speak with Mary and tell Mary about her virgin birth. And Mary's like, okay, so how will this be, since I'm a virgin? And that's verse 34. And in 35, he goes in, he explains it to her. And then he says, and behold, your relative Elizabeth in her old age has also conceived a son. And he just leaves it at that. That's huge. He just threw that in at the end, but it was so intentional. It was part of the message from God to Mary. And, Mary watched her cousins. She watched them struggle to get pregnant. She watched them believe God and not stop believing God for the birth of this miracle child. And the angel tells Mary to believe for her miracle and throws that in at the end, right? And that's special because it proves the point, I believe, that miracles shared between believers births faith. I'm going to say that again. Miracles shared between believers births faith. And we give birth to dreams, not just children, right? We give birth to dreams. Like we hold them close and we nurture them. And then we wait for God to bring them to fruition. So there's wisdom in not sharing your dreams and desires with everyone, especially when they're small. But I'm not talking about sharing what's in your heart. I'm saying let's share what God has already done. Let's share the miracles, the little miracles, the big miracles of what God's done in our lives in order to inspire others and to boost their faith in order for them to receive their miracles. And you also want to be around people who do the same thing for you, a reciprocal sort of relationship, so you can grow together in your faith and believe God for more. Praise him for what he's already done. So I just want to leave you guys with that. Share your miracles, help birth faith in others. And it doesn't just have to be your miracles. You can share other stories that you've heard as well. So if you found this helpful, please subscribe if you want to hear more things like this. And there's another video right here that will help you move forward with confidence into your destiny. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. This feels a little wonky. Okay, test, test, test.